Good morning, everyone. Thanks for being here on this beautiful day. I hear a few folks came over from Jack Morris press conference, so thanks for. I think I saw a big Jack Morris bus out there that brought everybody over. So thanks for being here today. Appreciate it very much, and do appreciate media being here at this press conference. So everybody knows we're working hard in the campaign. Everybody's focused on November 2nd. We're aiming to win this election. Absolutely. Yeah. I'll make a few comments here this morning, and then we'll have a little discussion, take a few questions. You know, every day I hear politicians in Washington talking about problems, but I never hear any solutions. It seems like our deficit has been increasing steadily during recent years, while federal debt skyrockets. We're up to 14 trillion federal debt now, and all the federal government seems to want to do is to raise taxes. So I'm here today to let you know that I'm a different kind of candidate. I'm definitely a fiscally conservative candidate, and I have a record in previous elected office to demonstrate that. I support a balanced budget amendment at the federal level, and also lowering taxes in some specific ways I'd like to tell you about. So today I'd like to outline some of my positions on taxes, which will mainly focus on small businesses, core job creators in our economy, the middle class, and also on veterans. First of all, I think it's unfortunate that Washington did not vote on extending tax cuts for the middle class until after the election. I think that needed to be taken care of. And I support maintaining those tax cuts for 1 year or until our economy becomes more stable. And after a year, I still support maintaining the tax cuts for middle America, for working America, for that 95% of all Americans. And regarding small business and regarding middle class, first and foremost, I think we need to remove all tax breaks for companies that ship jobs overseas. That's going on. It makes no sense at all. Tax policy that encourages jobs to be shipped out of Northeast Indiana overseas, and that's hurt us greatly. Yeah. The competition is tough enough as it is. So there should be no tax increases on small business. Rather, we need to provide tax cuts and incentives for small businesses who hire new staff and unemployed workers and who keep their businesses here rather than shipping their jobs to Mexico or shipping their jobs to China. Regarding veterans, I think we need these couple comments here you haven't heard all that much about, but I think are important, and these relate directly to my strong support of and the strong support of many individuals in the room, like Shar Waybright back there for our veterans. We need to exclude combat pay for veterans' income taxes and make them eligible for earned income tax credit as well. And we need to allow current and former service members to apply for housing benefits, which otherwise would be given to first-time home buyers. Housing benefits and special housing breaks for current and former service members, I think, is really important, since many of those folks are coming back from Iraq, coming back from Afghanistan, and they're struggling. Maybe they have health problems, struggling to make ends meet. That'd be an important extra break we could offer them. And lately, it seems like the only thing Republicans and Democrats could agree on during the last decade is to keep borrowing and spending. And that is not what's been best for Northeast Indiana. I don't believe for 1 minute that what's going on in Washington, we've all heard a lot of talk about it, including $14 trillion in federal debt, is that it's a Democratic problem, a Republican problem. I think it's a Washington problem. So if we really want to change Washington, we need to change who we send there. My opponent's running for his 5th election in 3 years. 5th election in 3 years. Sending another career politician to Washington is not going to change anything.
Right.
So let's take right. It's good, audience participation. So let's take a closer look at Mr. Stutzman. He says he's conservative, and he signed a pledge not to increase taxes as a state official. But he did vote for a $700 million tax increase. The Indiana Chamber called this a single largest business tax increase in Indiana history. That's House Bill 1379. But that's not all. He later voted to delay the tax increase until after the election, sending Hoosiers a clear message he's willing to raise taxes, but let's wait until after the 2010 election to do it. I'd like to quote a couple of folks you may know from Mr. Stutzman's own party on his vote to raise taxes. John Hostetler said, when Senator Stutzman I want to read this, make sure I get it exactly right. When Senator Stutzman had an opportunity to vote against the tax increase, he voted yes for a tax increase. And I quote Dan Coates, for voting for something that has something you're against, I can't quite figure that out. So I believe people want the truth, they're tired of double talk. I'm not interested in running for one office and then running for another. I'm interested in helping improve the lives of Hoosier families. Happy to take questions. Thanks to everybody for being here today. Why don't we start with the media, let them fire me whatever questions they have, and I think after that I'll perhaps stroll around, hang out for a while, and by the way, don't forget get some food and munchies in the back, and I'll hang out and maybe talk one-on-one with everybody after the media asks whatever questions they might want to ask. But you folks go ahead.
Can you go into a little more detail about Marlin's vote on that 1379?
Yes, right. Okay.
Again, just talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Basically, that particular bill was hotly debated in Indianapolis, and he did vote yes. I think the main point there, he had taken a no tax pledge. As far as I'm concerned, when a public official takes that solid, that black and white pledge, he or she needs to stick by it. And you know, my pledge right now is to fight like hell for folks here in Northeast Indiana to rebuild the Northeast Indiana economy. That's my pledge to the people of this district, and I'm definitely going to stick with that, and you'll see that after I get elected.
Marlin has been virtually invisible so far in the last 2 or 3 months.
Yeah.
I'm curious about it. Do you find it curious that he has been so laying low so much in this race?
Well, I think it's curious. I think it's unfortunate because there are going to be a couple of debates along the way, which is very appropriate. I think we've challenged in various situations Mr. Stutzman to debate, and I think definitely I'm ready to show up anywhere, anytime, any place to debate him on a wide variety of issues. It has been difficult to get him to come out and face the people and talk about issues, and I think it's more. I don't understand it exactly. I think it's a worrisome trend, and I've always believed candidates need to just get out and take whatever question gets tossed out on the table, so to speak.
Do you get the sense that it might be that he feels he is in control of the race and I just need to play it safe, or do you have any sense for what maybe his thinking is there?
I doubt he thinks he's in control of the race, because I think he knows that, for instance, we can get a great turnout like this right here today, and this is part of like 800 or 900 volunteers that are been working hard. We made like 60,000 canvassing calls throughout the district. He knows we're working very hard in the campaign. This has been going on for a year. I don't know. You'll have to ask him about that. He'll answer that for you. As far as I'm concerned, I'm ready to show up anywhere, anytime, and debate him on the issues. Absolutely. I think the people deserve that. We need to have open debate and discussion. That's part of the democratic process. Other questions? Always happy to take anything from the media. I do appreciate you folks being here. Appreciate you covering this race and getting the word out to the community, to the region. Very important. Yes, I can, Sylvia. Go ahead. I do hear you.
I've got a couple questions about the tax extension, cutting.
Okay. Right.
So you're saying that you would vote to extend for 1 year 2001 and 2003 tax cuts that were scheduled to expire at the end of this year. Is that correct?
Yeah, I would. Across the board, I would vote to do that for 1 year, and perhaps with some variation based on hopefully some steady turnaround and improvement in the economy, not only here in Northeast Indiana, but across the U.S.